This is tough, bro. What?
That is so tough. That is so hard.
Marvel Rivals literally just came out, and it already has a huge and positive community. I love seeing all the funny memes about Jeff and Bucky and the voice lines, and it honestly just feels so refreshing to play a game where it feels like the devs actually care about us. Every character is so unique, and they're all free to play off rip. It's such a great start to a game, and I've really been loving it so far. Anyways, enough of glazing this game. It's really starting to feel like an ad. You're on the Odin Plays Games channel, and I'm here to give you all of the best tips and tricks to make sure you're at the top of your game in Marvel Rivals. And some of these are really intricate and cool, and you can genuinely turn your game from looking mediocre to a really skilled gameplay. Let's get into it. Alright, so the first few tips that I want to show you are actually really simple. They're just in the settings, but I feel like getting these out of the way pretty early on because, I mean, they honestly don't affect your visuality of the game. It doesn't really look that bad, even though you put on these low graphics. For some reason, I don't know, this game just looks perfectly great with perfectly low graphics. Honestly, you just put everything at the bottom, and all it really changes is that you can't see the shadows anymore much, and that just makes it easier to see people, and it makes your performance run a lot better. So you just want to make all of these as low as possible. You're also going to want to probably take super resolution sharpening down a little bit. I had mine at 80 originally. I took it down to 50. I'm not exactly sure what this does, but I mean, just put it down a little bit. And then you're also going to want to put super resolution mode at performance. Just everything at performance makes it look good. The next thing you're actually going to want to do is come to keyboard on the combat section, and you're going to want to change the reticle. The original reticle is a circle, and I mean, if you guys like that, you can go ahead and use it, but personally, I think that looks dumb as hell. I explained the next part a little bit weird, so I'm just here to explain this a little bit easier. Essentially, I give my center dot a very visible black outline, and I give the surrounding lines no outline, so I can kind of focus on specifically the main dot, and the lines are just kind of there to help as little guidelines. Because in the end, I don't really need any recoil or bloom accountability, so I mean, I just really focus on the center dot, and having the little lines at the edge a little bit less noticeable just helps me a lot with my aiming. I also put the lines as a little X because I think that just helps with the guidelines a little bit more than just the T, and I don't know, I just kind of like it more. But that's really all up to your preference. Now anyways, I'm gonna get back with the video. Hope you guys enjoy the rest. Alright, so moving on is going to be a really important setting that you're really going to want to use. You definitely want to listen to this part of the video if you use SpiderMan. If you use SpiderMan, you're going to want to be on the keyboard section, and you want to click on this little button right here called All Heroes, and you're going to want to click on SpiderMan specifically, click Confirm, and you're going to go down, and instantly it's going to show you this swing stuff. What you're going to want to do is this is going to be set on automatically. I use SpiderMan a lot, so this was a really important setting for me. You're going to want to turn off automatic swing, and that means you're going to be able to aim where you swing. It's going to let you do a quick swing where you can like tap swing when you're looking like down at something you're not really fully able to swing on, and it'll just make you zip straight towards it. And you literally won't be able to do this if you don't have automatic swing off. So if you turn this on, you're going to be at a great advantage against any other Spider-Man, and you're just going to be able to play Spider-Man a lot easier. So you're definitely going to want to listen to this. All right, so that's everything for the settings, and now let's get into a little bit more fancier stuff to get better at the game. So there's actually one more setting involved tip that I can give you guys, but believe it or not, it's not even in the Marvel Rivals setting. This is a setting that you're going to want to go into the config of the game, and you're going to be able to change this. So if you guys are on console, I'm sorry, but you can skip over this video. There will be timestamps, so you can just skip past this part. But if you're on PC, you're definitely going to want to listen to this. So for some reason, inside of Marvel Rivals, there's this little thing called mouse acceleration, and you cannot turn it off in settings. And before I go into this, I want to preface this by saying this is not cheating at all. You're 100% allowed to do this, but it helps your aiming so much, I'm telling you. You're actually going to want to be turning off mouse acceleration in the settings, so I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now. So to actually do this, you're going to want to close out of Marvel Rivals, and you're going to want to click Windows plus R. And once you do this, this should be a little bit of a thing that pops up right here. And what you're going to want to type into this is %, local app data, %. And once you click on this, click OK. And some files should pop up. And you're going to want to look around here until you find Marvel Rivals. My bad, I just told you guys to open Marvel Rivals. So there's going to be a Marvel file and a Marvel Rivals launcher. Do not open the Marvel Rivals. You want to open Marvel, all right? Because if you open Marvel Rivals launcher, I believe that'll just open up the game. You're going to want to double click on this, double click on saved, and then you're going to want to find config right here, Windows, and here it is. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to open this with a notepad or whatever you use, and then click on properties. It should be attributes read only and hidden. They should both be off. That is great. So what you're going to want to do is open it if those are both off. And then from here, you're going to want to add in your own settings. So this is going to be a little bit difficult to type in, but I will copy it down and I'll paste it in the subscription for anybody that wants to just copy it and paste it right into their game files. All right, so I just added it in. As you can see, this is what you're going to want to write right here. I'll have it linked down in the description. This is genuinely going to help your aim so much. I'm not even kidding you. And also another thing that you can do here, as you can see your resolution. If you're one of those weirdos that plays games at like a weird ass stretch res, you can go ahead and change this right here. So now that you have this pasted in here, you're going to want to click on File. You're going to want to click Save. Then you're going to want to click Exit. And now it's right here. And remember, I told you guys to check the properties. You're going to want to check the properties again. And now you're going to want to tick the read-only box. So now it will not be reset. Pretty much, if it's not read-only, you're going to launch the game and it's just going to reset that. And then nothing's even going to happen. So if you have it on read-only, it can't affect it after you've added it in. You want to click Apply. Okay, now there's read-only. You can load back up the game and your mouse aiming is going to feel so much better, I'm telling you. Now that we're done with those settings, let's launch back up the game. And I'm going to show you guys some tips for in-game that can actually help you a lot. So I want to start off first by explaining something that's really important about this game. I'm going to go on to Luna Snow because I feel like she demonstrates it the best. Now that we're in game, I just want to show you guys some insane tips about how to aim and everything. This tip right here specifically is actually going to improve your aim so much in Marvel Rivals. Pretty much, as you can see, when I'm aiming at someone here, if I shoot to the side of their head on the left, it's kind of hard. You see, I can't really hit them. But if I move to the right, as you can see, I'm clearly aiming just as far, and I hit every single shot. Pretty much, this is because you are in third person. For some reason, this game has weird bullet registration, or it's just the POV or something. But for some reason, when you're aiming to the left, it's a lot harder to hit than when you're on the right. So basically what this means is you're going to want to focus on aiming a little bit to the left of every character, or just kind of moving like to the left side of their body instead of the right. Because that means you're going to hit a lot more shots. Now, another thing I really want to talk about is the difference between projectile and hit scan bullets. So all of these characters have very different bullet patterns. A great example here is Jeff the Shark. As you can see, if I shoot with him, it takes a hot minute for the bullet to travel to the character. So if we come right here to this little bot, I have to lead my shot a little bit to try to hit him on point. Okay, I might have missed there, but you get the point. Now, if I go back to a character like Luna Snow, as you can see, I just hit him off the bat right away. Now let's wait for him to respawn, and as you can see, when I lead my shots, I hit none of them. Absolutely none of them. You have to hit directly on him. So when you're using a character, you got to kind of determine the difference between if they're a projectile character or a hit scan player. I'm not going to go over every single hit scan between projectile character because it's pretty easy to tell, but I will say a lot of obvious ones are like Star-Lord is hit scan. Another one is Hela. Hela is definitely hit scan. A lot of people like to say that she's just a fast projectile. She is not. She is definitely hit scan. And if you lead your shots with her, you are going to miss. Another great example is Punisher. Punisher is most definitely hit scan. It's pretty obvious though because he has actual guns. I mean, he's not going to be a projectile. The first one I want to talk about is Black Panther because this guy can be an absolute demon if you use him correctly. The problem is not a lot of people are able to use him correctly. So the thing about Black Panther here is he actually has a really cool thing with his spears. What you want to do is you use his spears and he has this little vibranium tag on all of his opponents. So the thing about this is it is super important to tag anybody that you're attacking with this before. And it has a pretty big radius, so you can hit a lot of people with it. Basically, what this does is it makes it so your dash doesn't take any cooldown. So as you can see, I instantly dashed into them and they were just completely, like, it didn't even count. So I could literally hit that and then dash in them again. But actually, it goes even deeper than that. After you do your little dash, if you do this little attack, as you can see, it hits them again. And then, because you already have your dash, you can hit them with it again and just kill them. And then you can dash away if you need to, or dash into them again. This makes it so you can hit the dash 3 times before having the cooldown, which means you can do so much more damage than you expect. So that could mean even up to 4 dashes with the Black Panther, which could do so much damage, especially if you're going through multiple members of the team. If their entire team is bundled up, you're definitely going to want him with that spear and hit them with that dash, and then hit them with the E move, and then hit them with another spear, and then hit them with another dash. And if you got to finish them off, dash again. If you got to get away, all of that. And you'll probably even have your ult by then. I'll even show this combo on the big boy. As you can see, I hit him with that full dash, hit the E dash, dash into him again, hit him again, dash into him again, hit him again, dash into him again, dash into him one last time. I defeated that entire person without having any cooldown. And this guy has some crazy health, bro. So yeah, that is some pretty crazy stuff you can do with Black Panther. Let's move on to the next character. Another one I want to talk about is SpiderMan. As you can see, I can swing wherever the hell I want as long as I have that setting that I told you to put on there. If you don't put on that setting, it'll just make you web wherever it wants you to. And that is really, really annoying sometimes. As you can see, if I jump from here and just tap it, it'll zip me straight down. And you can use that in a lot of great situations to get away quick, because Spider-Man's pretty much main ability is to tag and run. So if you're able to run quick, that's perfect. So you're definitely going to want to put on that setting because it'll just completely help you out a ton. So something I see a lot of people misusing with Spider-Man is his little web pull. So obviously you can grab him and pull him towards you, but people don't know that there's actually a special use for this. If you hit them with the web first, you can see that icon, and then you'll pull towards them and start with a little combo, which is really, really good. And another thing with Spider-Man is the same thing. If you hit them with that little web, with that icon, all of your damage does a lot more. So you're going to want to use that right before you attack someone. You can pull into them and attack them, do whatever you want, but that is super useful. Now, another thing is people use his combos really wrong. They just kind of button mash and fuck it all up. The best thing you could do is push towards them and kind of jump up and do that little grand slam. That also does a ton of damage, as you can see. Remember, Spider-Man is all about the quick combos and the big kills, and that's just really important with him. So if you're not using him in that way, you're really just failing your team, and nobody wants a dumbass Spider-Man on their team. The next character I want to talk about is Jeff the Land Shark. Now, I kind of want to talk about 3 things with this guy. First of all, he's fucking adorable. Second of all, a lot of people that are on the team with Jeff are actually the problem with Jeff. Pretty much, he has this little bubble, and you can throw a lot of these bubbles around, and they help a lot. When your team walks into them, they get hella health. So when you're wondering where the hell Jeff is and why he's not healing you, maybe look around for a bubble and stop missing them on the ground, because they can be extremely useful. If you're just a little bit lower, you have like 100 health gone, just tap one of the bubbles. It's really helpful. He has a lot of them. He can place down a lot of them, and it's very useful. And that kind of leads into the next thing I talk about. If you're using Jeff, you start out with 6 of these freaking bubbles. As you can see, I haven't even ran out of bubbles yet, and I am just spawning so many of them. If you are Jeff, you're going to want to spam these around the payload or the objective or everything, and they really help. But once you have 6, you can't spawn anymore. So make sure your teammates are using them before you're spawning more, or else you're just wasting them. So that's all I want to talk about with Jeff. Let's move on to the next one. Next thing I want to talk about is Moonight. A lot of people use Moonight not realizing how useful you can actually be with him. Pretty much all I want to talk about with him, because I haven't used him that much, is his Onk. If you put down his Onk, everybody in this vicinity is going to get hit by it. So look, I don't have to aim at all, and I do an incredible amount of damage. You can see that is absolutely insane. You can hit people around corners, around everything, and it is just completely broken, to be honest. You are going to want to use this. If you are not using this with Moonight, you're pretty much just being a terrible Moonight, because this is one of his best abilities by far. All right, so the last character I want to talk about is Venom, one of my absolute favorite characters to use. Pretty much, there's one specific thing that I really want to talk about with Venom, and it's his swing. You can utilize this swing in so many ways, getting away, but the best thing is his diving strike. Once you hit that, your enemies will be launched up into the air, and you can just get easy hits off of them. And not only that, you don't even need to use the swing for this. I think a lot of people forget that he can run up walls. You can run up any wall, jump off of it, and use that same diving strike, which does just as much damage as if you swing. And you don't even have to use an ability. It is a super useful thing to do, and I feel like a lot of people forget about that. Another thing I want to talk about with Venom is if you use this little ability, it'll kind of drag them towards you, which is really OP, and it does damage, and you kind of want to use that to single out players and slowly kill off their team and then focus on the rest of them. The last thing I want to talk about with Venom is his healing ability. This will give you a bunch of health, and it'll make you pretty strong. And the problem I see with people using this is that they'll use it when they're like half health or some baloney like that. You want to use this when you're literally on the brink of death, about to die, because otherwise you're just wasting it. Not only that, when players see you use this ability, they know that you can't use the ability again, and essentially that's when they're able to get the kill on you. So you are going to want to use that at the very end, and you want to remember that you are going to get focused once you use that ability. So once you don't have that ability anymore, you're definitely going to want to back off once you get low and wait for it to come back, because that is your pretty much saving grace most of the time. So you're definitely going to want to use that a lot of the time. It is super useful, super OP, and it just makes Venom so much better. The last thing I want to talk about is this little yellow thing next to all of the characters. Pretty much this means that they are boosted for the season. So this means that they're just better than all the other characters for this season. So these are the characters you're going to want to be focusing, maining, using, practicing for this season. And then next season, there's going to be new ones. So you can focus on those characters instead. Because it's kind of pointless just to use characters that aren't really buffed right now because there's just really no reason to. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed all of these tips and tricks. Hopefully this will inspire you to have better gameplay and work a little bit harder in your games to cook up with your team a little bit better. And I just want to end this off by saying, y'all need to use some more Vanguards, bro. I'm be seeing no tanks in any of my games, bro. Try a Vanguard. I'm telling you, you might not get the most kills. You might not get any healing. You might have a really hard time playing. But I'm telling you, you are going to help out your team so much by just controlling and being the tank of the game. Use Penny Parker, bro. She's freaking OP. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I've been enjoying playing this game recently. A like, subscribe, and comment would always be appreciated. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.